So we're pretty excited that Shogun is a serious runner in this race.
Yeah, ultra consistent horse. Again, I'm not too worried about the fact that he's only won one race. His form in the big races, he's shown it over and over again. He belongs in these races. He's been placed, I think, in 3 Group 1s. I think he's 3 kilograms better off with Heavy Metal for a beating of 2 1/4 lengths in the Champions Cup in Joburg. Well drawn. A rider that I have a lot of time for, carries Teton in the saddle. I think this horse, you've got to respect him. Again, I tend to lean more towards the older horses rather than the 3-year-olds this year, and this would certainly be on my shortlist.
All right, let's move on to Heavy Metal. Another Silvano, very good horse, carried big weights and won. He's come right at the right time to give Sean Terry a very strong hand, and of course Chris Van Niekerk, his major client. Heavy Metal is again a horse that brings good form into the race.
Yeah, Laf, his win in Joburg with Shimanga Kamal on was a great win. My only concern about this horse is 59.5. Other than that, I think he's a big runner. He likes to come from just a little bit off the pace. He's got a turn of foot. I actually, in the beginning, I phoned Sean and maybe was looking for the ride on this horse. But he's got a lot of weight on his back. But for me, I think he deserves his place. So there's another one. I think most of these horses in the race deserve their place. And he's definitely one of them.
Heavy Metal comes off some fantastic form at the moment, and that's one thing we've always got to look at in the July. We've got to look at horses that they've got current, recent, good form. There's absolutely nothing wrong with Heavy Metal's current, recent form. And something to point out is that he runs at Turfentine, and often the jockeys have been rumoured to have gone too early on him. So he's got a bit of a short run. And that will absolutely, the gravel track should suit Heavy Metal down to the ground. If that's the case, if he's got a short run and Turfentine hasn't been ideal for him, he certainly has had fantastic form at Turfentine. And if the short run's going to suit him even more, then Gravel's going to be right down his alley. He ran second last time, carrying 62.5 kilos. He's only got 59.5 compared to that. And Heavy Metal's a runner in the race.
Yeah, Heavy Metal seems to be on the up as well. He's another horse that's just gotten better and better all season. He has raced at Gravel before. I think he won a little feature race called the Dali Arabian on Gold Cup Day last year. So he certainly is effective around here. He may very well be ideally suited to this sort of race course. Yeah, obviously he's got a lot of weight on his back. He has earned it. He seems to get better and better. Last time he carried 62.5 kilos in the Jubilee Handicap and did everything but win it. He's a tough horse, very, very game, decent draw. Samanga Kumalo, a top rider who knows this horse very well. Definitely a contender.
All right, that leaves us on our final horse, Wiley Hall, arguably one of the best bred horses in the race, an Australian import. He's a very, very good horse. I thought he might battle with a short run in the way he won the Derby in Gauteng. He was very workmanlike that day and very relentless, but he ran an absolute cracker in the Daily News 2000. He has a slightly deep draw, but to me, this horse is a leading lot.
Yeah, Laffy's a very good horse. I rode him first time out in a sprint, and he gave you an unbelievable feeling. He's done nothing wrong, and Wayo Mowing will have him super fit on the day, and his preparation's been good, and you've got to give him a shot. He deserves his place.
Wiley Hall's by a very, very good stallion, Australian stallion, a champion Australian stallion, Redoubt's choice. And he's a 3-year-old that's proved that he's got ability. He won the Derby. He's subsequent to that got very good. He's run in the Daily News. There was nothing wrong with it. He was only a quarter of a length behind the winner, so he represents the best of the 3-year-olds. And again, he's a horse that will be in the July again if nothing goes wrong next year. And I think we'll see a lot of Wiley Hall still. If it's not this year, he certainly has got a chance on his form, but he'll be a horse to look out for in the future. He's going to be a top horse.
Yeah, once again, he finished a very good fourth in the Daily News, running on well. He was only beaten a neck, which highlights what we've been saying all along, is that these 3-year-old colts are very levelly matched. He's as good as any of them. It is possible that he would be better suited to a more galloping track than Gravel, but he did run well enough in the Daily News. The South African Derby, he only beat Gothic half a length, and now he's got to give him 2 kilos. So on that basis, Gothic must have a chance of beating him. But this Wiley Hall is an improving horse. Again, he's as good as any of the 3-year-olds. If you like the 3-year-olds, he's got a chance.
Well, I'd like to thank all our panelists. We've run through the field. It's been very, very interesting. We've seen the gallops this morning. Most horses coming through and looking very good for the upcoming feature. And I'll conclude it by just asking each one of our panelists which horse or 2 horses they think could win this race.
Lef, I'm going to go with. I'd like to put 3 horses. I'd like to go with 3 horses. I would like to say I'm going to go Captain Noir, Astro News, and Wagner.
I think, people are saying it's, I'm not going to call this a weak July by any stretch of the imagination, but it's an open July. It's a very, very open July. It's going to create a lot of betting interest for a lot of horses from a lot of angles, and I hope that Gold Circle have a real bumper July and that it works out well for everyone. I'm going to go with my 3 horses. I'm not going to go against them. I think that each one of them are extremely well. I'm not going to pick an order, but Seal, Showgunner, and No Worries are certainly my pick, and fingers are crossed. If I don't win it, I hope, I wish well and all to every other runner.
Obviously, as a handicap, I can't really pick 3 horses. I'm supposed to think that, I have to believe that every horse in the race, other than the ones that are under sufferance, have got an equal chance of winning. I think, as I said earlier, Jet Explorer, purely on the Greyville or Betting World 1900 run, is well handicapped. If I had to pick one horse, as a handicapper, I'd have to pick Jet Explorer on the basis of the Greyville 1900, and that's where I'm going to leave it.
There we go. Thanks very, very much to Matthew, to Gavin and Kevin. We've hoped we've made it a little bit easier for you, and we'll sign off on that note.